Next speaker is Dr. Satheesh C Shenoi, Director, Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services and Director, National Institute of Ocean Technology, Hyderabad, Ministry of Arts Sciences. Dr. Shenoi, please.
Good morning, and let me thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. As you know that we have a long coastline of more than 8,000 kilometers and exclusive economic zone of 2.37 million square kilometers. When we look at our coastline, we know that about a quarter of our population, it lives on the coast. Of course, the fishermen live on the coast. Most of our coastal areas are low-lying, and this large population faces the threats. Anything happens from on the coast. If you look at the fishing in India, these statistics I just pulled out from the survey which was conducted by Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute in Cochin. And these fishermen, they are engaged in fishing. Most of them are engaged in livelihood fishing, and they are not well educated, but they use these mechanized or half mechanized as well as non-mechanized boats. And they are vulnerable because they keep their boats right on the beach, and they have no proper marinas to secure their boats, and they are susceptible to the kind of disasters, for example the cyclones, and followed with the storm surges. So these fishermen, which are they are improvised, they don't have the paka buildings or the concrete buildings to live in, and they are all vulnerable to this kind of disasters. Right now we are in the position that we are able to give accurate forecasts, and our government missionaries or the NGO organizations, they are geared up to evacuate this population. And followed with that, there will be a lot of coastal erosion, and the beaches will be lost, and the houses will be lost due to the cyclone and following storm surge. And most of this has been documented now, and we know that which are the area. This is an example from the Andhra Pradesh, which shows that over the past decades, last 3 decades, which are the areas which are vulnerable to the erosion, accretion, or which are the areas which are stable. So this kind of database has to be built up for any developmental activities, whether we like or not. The other disaster which we face is this from the tsunamis, and we are vulnerable to these tsunamis because we have these joints of those plates, or what we call the subduction zones, on the eastern side extending from Myanmar coast to Sumatra in the Indonesian region, as well as on the Iran-Pakistan region, what we call the Makran subduction zone. So in 2004, we didn't know that such phenomena exists, and we were totally unprepared. We didn't know that how we can issue an early warning that a tsunami is going to be generated and when the tsunami will reach our coast. But today we are fully prepared, and we can issue the warnings. Now coming to the warming of the oceans, the 2 facts emerged from the last IPCC report. One fact is that the oceans are warming, and since 1971 the oceans are absorbing all this heat to that, and 3% of the heat is going in melting the ice, and 1% only is going into the atmosphere and making the atmosphere warm. And out of this 93% heat which is going into the ocean, now recently it has emerged that 73% of that 93% heat which has gone into the oceans is coming into the Indian Ocean. This is the picture. This is the water column, and this is the trend in the heat. And 1993 to 2002, this is the picture that this area is Pacific and this is Indian Ocean. You can see that a lot of heat was stored in the Pacific Ocean, and in 2003-2012 the picture is slowly changing, and you can see that this color which was blue earlier is slowly turning into yellow and red. And right now we don't know that how Indian Ocean is going to handle this heat, whether it is going to take this heat deeper down and distribute to the oceans, to the Atlantic or elsewhere. We still don't have idea about that. Or it is going to give back to the atmosphere. If it gives back to the atmosphere, there is a definite danger of our monsoon and our climate is going to get in large changes. There are papers which are published by our Indian scientists in Nature in 2015, which shows that this because of the warming which is storing more and more heat in the Western Indian Ocean, our monsoon rainfall is keep on decreasing. So this is an indication that our monsoons are going to get in trouble, and if this monsoon get in trouble, not only the fishermen, the entire country is going to have these difficulties. And this is a study conducted by some of my colleagues. You can see that they have compared the global average as well as the average sea level rise in the Indian Ocean. What it says is that the global average is 3.1 millimeter per year, and in the Indian Ocean it is 4.12 millimeter per year. Of course, along our coast also this study shows that it is rising at 3.6 to even some of the areas about 5 millimeter per year. So that means over the 10 years about 5 centimeter, and 100 years half a meter. And most of our land or the coast is just 1 to 1.5 meter high. So there is a threat that we might lose some of these areas. In 1961-76, if you see that the oil sardine and mackerel, which was abundantly available only along the or the southern part of the west coast, and now in 87, 96 or 97, 2006, you can see that its availability has moved towards north, or even up to Gujarat coast or the Maharashtra coast. But we need to pinpoint what's the kind of change which is happening in the environment, which is forcing this kind of change in the fisheries. Next. Similarly, this tuna fishery in the Lakshadweep, and there is a danger if when our seas are getting warmer and warmer, then this yellowfin tuna might disappear. Similarly, the deoxygenation of the waters. So our North Indian Ocean is one of the major deoxygenated water or oxygen minimum zones. And if that happens, the several fisheries that will get in danger, or they will undergo several changes. And now, because of the changing in the patterns of the fishing and the kind of gear that is being used, it is going towards catching those juvenile ones, and ending up in getting at a lower cost, and the fishermen wonder that our fishing is coming down. So these are the kind of changes which we are to expect in the fisheries, and prepare for that. So with this I will just conclude. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.